Why Paris designers never overdecorate small apartments. Have you ever walked into a tiny Paris apartment and wondered why it feels elegant instead of crowded? The surprising answer isn't that it contains more expensive furniture or larger rooms. In fact, many of these homes are no bigger than a modern studio apartment. The real difference lies in restraint. Parisian designers understand that small spaces don't become beautiful by adding more. They become memorable by carefully deciding what to leave out. Today, we're exploring the timeless philosophy behind why Paris designers rarely overdecorate small apartments, and how this simple mindset creates interiors that feel calm, sophisticated, and surprisingly spacious. Paris apartment is that it doesn't try to impress you all at once. Instead of overwhelming visitors with decorations, each room quietly reveals its personality over time. Designers think of the apartment as a story rather than a showroom. Every object has a reason to exist, whether it's an antique mirror, a worn leather chair, or a small stack of beloved books. This storytelling approach creates emotional depth that excessive decoration often destroys. Paris designers often speak about visual breathing room. Imagine trying to enjoy a beautiful painting that's surrounded by dozens of other paintings. None of them can truly shine. The same principle applies inside a compact apartment. Empty wall sections, uncluttered shelves, and open corners allow the eye to rest. Ironically, these empty spaces make the carefully chosen decorative pieces appear even more valuable. In a small apartment, space itself becomes part of the design. Rather than filling every surface with ornaments, Parisian interiors usually feature only a handful of exceptional pieces. A vintage brass lamp may become the room's focal point instead of sitting beside 6 decorative objects competing for attention. Designers believe one beautiful item with history creates more emotional impact than an entire shelf filled with inexpensive decorations. This philosophy also encourages homeowners to buy less but choose better, resulting in interiors that age gracefully over decades. Many people think decorating begins after furniture arrives. Paris designers see things differently. They believe beautifully designed furniture already serves as decoration. A sculptural wooden dining chair, a linen sofa with elegant proportions, or a marble coffee table contributes visual interest without needing layers of accessories. Because the furniture itself has character, the room doesn't require constant embellishment. The overall atmosphere feels intentional rather than crowded. Perhaps the most overlooked decorating element is natural light. Paris apartments, especially older ones, often feature tall windows that flood compact interiors with daylight. Designers avoid blocking this precious resource with excessive furniture or heavy accessories. Instead, they arrange the room so sunlight can travel freely. When light becomes the main attraction, fewer decorative objects are needed because brightness naturally highlights textures, colors, and architectural details. Many historic Paris apartments include ceiling moldings, fireplaces, parquet flooring, or tall doors. Rather than covering these features with excessive decor, designers let them remain visible. These architectural details provide built-in elegance that doesn't require additional ornamentation. Even modern apartments can borrow this lesson by celebrating original features instead of hiding them beneath decorative clutter. Sometimes the building itself offers the most beautiful design element. restrained color palette helps tiny apartments feel significantly larger. Paris designers often choose warm whites, muted grays, earthy beiges, olive greens, or soft blues that quietly complement one another. This doesn't mean every room becomes boring. Instead, subtle variations in color create richness without visual noise. By limiting the palette, attention naturally shifts toward texture, craftsmanship, and natural materials rather than overwhelming contrast. Instead of introducing countless decorative accessories, Parisian interiors often rely on texture to create warmth. Linen curtains, velvet cushions, aged wood, woven baskets, marble surfaces, and brushed brass all contribute character without adding visual clutter. These materials invite people to experience the room with more than just their eyes. Texture adds quiet luxury that feels timeless because it never depends on short-lived decorating trends. One fascinating principle among many Paris designers is that every item should answer a simple question: why are you here? If an object serves no practical purpose, emotional value, or artistic beauty, it probably doesn't belong in the room. This thoughtful editing process prevents clutter from slowly taking over. Rather than decorating first and organizing later, they curate carefully from the very beginning. People often assume minimalist interiors lack personality, but Paris apartments prove the opposite. Designers encourage homeowners to display carefully edited collections rather than enormous ones. 3 vintage ceramics displayed thoughtfully often create greater impact than 30 random souvenirs. Smaller collections invite curiosity because each piece becomes easier to appreciate. Visitors naturally ask questions, allowing stories and memories to become part of the home's atmosphere. French design has long embraced the idea that practical objects can also be beautiful. A wooden ladder holds blankets elegantly. An antique sideboard stores tableware while enriching the room visually. Even kitchen utensils may remain visible if they possess craftsmanship and charm. When everyday objects contribute aesthetically, there is less need to introduce unnecessary decorative items purely for appearance. Much of this philosophy comes from daily life rather than decoration trends. Many Parisians spend significant time outside enjoying cafes, markets, parks, and neighborhood streets. Their apartments become peaceful retreats instead of places designed for constant entertainment. Designers reflect this lifestyle by creating interiors that promote relaxation, conversation, reading, and quiet evenings rather than filling every corner with visual stimulation. One carefully chosen antique can transform an entire room. Whether it's a century-old mirror, a carved cabinet, or an aged chandelier, historic furniture carries imperfections that create authenticity. Paris designers rarely compete with these treasures by surrounding them with excessive decoration. Instead, they allow the antique to become the room's storyteller. Age itself provides beauty that no modern accessory can easily replicate. Many homeowners feel uncomfortable seeing blank walls because they believe every surface requires decoration. Paris designers strongly disagree. Empty walls provide balance, allowing artwork or furniture elsewhere to receive proper attention. Like pauses in music, blank spaces create rhythm throughout an interior. Without these quiet moments, even beautiful decorations lose their impact because everything competes for attention simultaneously. Books appear frequently inside charming Paris apartments, but rarely as color-coordinated decorations. They are lived with, read, and revisited. Designers appreciate books because they reveal personality without trying too hard. A small bookshelf filled with favorite novels, travel journals, or art publications tells visitors more about the homeowner than dozens of fashionable accessories ever could. Authenticity always outlasts trends. Even greenery follows the philosophy of restraint. Instead of filling every windowsill with plants, Paris designers often select one or two varieties that suit the apartment's scale. A mature olive tree, elegant fern, or climbing ivy becomes a living sculpture. The goal isn't creating an indoor jungle, but introducing life and softness that complements the architecture rather than overwhelming it. One remarkable quality of Paris interiors is confidence. Designers don't feel pressured to fill empty corners simply because space exists. They trust their choices. This quiet confidence creates an atmosphere of effortless luxury. Ironically, many homes that appear expensive achieve that impression precisely because they avoid appearing overly designed. Simplicity signals certainty, while clutter often reveals uncertainty. Professional designers know that decorating isn't only about adding pieces. It's also about continuous editing. As seasons change and life evolves, they reassess every room. Something new may enter only if something unnecessary leaves. This ongoing refinement keeps apartments feeling fresh without requiring expensive renovations. The home evolves naturally instead of accumulating endless possessions over time. The beauty of this Parisian philosophy is that it works almost anywhere. Whether you live in London, New York, Sydney, Toronto, or a small countryside cottage, the principles remain surprisingly universal. Prioritize quality over quantity, celebrate natural light, respect empty space, and choose meaningful objects. None of these ideas depend on budget. They depend entirely on thoughtful decisions. Imagine returning home after a busy day. Instead of entering a room crowded with decorations demanding your attention, you step into a peaceful apartment where every object feels familiar and intentional. The vintage chair by the window catches the evening light. A single lamp creates warmth. Books wait patiently on a shelf. Nothing feels excessive because everything belongs. This quiet harmony explains why so many Paris apartments remain unforgettable despite their modest size. Perhaps the greatest lesson Paris designers teach us is that beauty isn't measured by how much we own, but by how thoughtfully we arrange what matters most. Small apartments don't need more decoration to become extraordinary. They need clearer priorities. When every piece serves a purpose, when light is allowed to shine, And when empty space is treated as a design element rather than a problem, even the tiniest home can feel timeless. That's why Paris designers rarely overdecorate. They understand that true elegance whispers, and in a small apartment, that whisper is often far more powerful than a shout.